what I want to do is I want to look at how close they are in relation to each other, because I have the feeling that if I use this one, that I can ride a much softer pressure, that this is much more realistic. And by that I mean, on my mountain bike, on the front tire, I use 1.3 bar, and a 1.3 bar over here feels different than 1.3 bar over there. So we're going to check and see if that's just an idea that I have.
Yeah.
What's up everyone, I'm in the Vosges on my gravel bike and doing a bit of hard breathing here. Look at how beautiful this is, my gosh. What's up everyone, I'm in the Vosges. I actually discovered the smaller roads and realized the climbs are much steeper, so that's really cool. I hope to show you some of these climbs. They are amazing. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the Vosges. Today I'm going to look at pressure gauges for tires, and why I'm going to do that is because I have one I use at home when I go mountain biking or gravel riding. I have one at work, so if I get to work I can set my tires for the way home. It sounds very nitty-witty, but in the mornings early I'm riding with gravel tires at 40 psi because I'm riding on the road, and in the afternoon I'm going back through the forest, so I want them a bit softer, of course. I have one pressure gauge I carry with me all the time on the mountain bike, and I have one pressure gauge I carry with myself on the gravel bike. That's only in case I get a puncture. If I'm almost home, I don't care, I'm just filling it up with a CO2 cartridge and going home. But if it's the beginning of my ride and I want to have the same pressure that I started off with, I like to have a pressure gauge to get the same pressure which I had when I left home, so I can enjoy my ride, and that's just something I like. But I'm never sure how accurate they are and how close they are, or if there's a huge difference in reading. So let's do this. I'm going to 40 psi, or as close to. There we go, 40 psi. So I'm not trying to see which one's the best, I'm just trying to see, are they in the same range? Is the reading I have on A the same as B if I'm riding and I have a puncture? And is the reading I have on number 1 the same as number 2 when I'm riding on the mountain bike? So that I always have kind of the same tire pressure. So let's do this. I'm going out from the fact that each time you use one you're going to lose a bit of tire pressure, so it's not a scientific experiment, it's just to see if they are close in the same range. So let's do this. This is the one I use the most. I've set it to PSI. I'm not naming any names, but this is the one I use the most and I also like the most. So let's do this. This is 40 psi according to the foot bump. Alright, so let's look and see. 40.0. That's pretty accurate. That's a good place to start. We can go from the fact we've lost some pressure in the tire for the next one. This is the one I carry with me on the gravel bike. Let's see what it does. It's difficult to get off, and I will lose some air. .9 psi. So that's pretty close. It's surprising. I thought there might be a bigger difference, but that's a good indication. That the other one was 40.0. This is 39.9. That's pretty close, so I don't have to throw it away. This is the one I use on my mountain bike. Let's see what this does. This is the first one I ever had, and then I started experimenting with others. Let's see how close it is. I always found it hard to get a reading with this the first time. I heard no noise, but still, it came off. It made a reading of 39.0 psi. That's pretty close in the range, so that is surprising. This is a very cheap model and pretty accurate. This model I have in the practice, and the thing is with this, the moment you put it on the valve, you lose a lot of pressure, maybe 1 or 2 psi, which doesn't make which is not a big deal, but you also have to pump your tire a bit harder to get the right pressure. So let's see how this goes. You can hear it if I put it on. A bit of air comes out. .39 psi. So they're all pretty close in the same range. You're definitely not going to have a harder tire or softer tire or anything like that. This is the one I use the most. I have an idea that's more accurate, but that's not true. I am pretty sure that these two are brothers and sisters, and that the inside is most probably just about the same, and the outside looks different. The blue one's a bit smaller, the black one's a bit bigger. They function the same way. They don't always make a noise to tell you that they've read the pressure, so you might have to do it a couple of times, but they're very close in the range of this model. So my advice would be to take one of these two with you on the mountain bike or the gravel bike, so you can adjust the pressures if you do have a flat. They're very light, very easy to carry in a saddle bag on the back of your jersey. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. Last but not least, this is a very accurate model. I think it's quite heavy. I like using it. It's just that you have to pump the tire a bit harder. If you want 40 psi, you have to pump it to 43 psi, and then just use this and to get it back onto 40 psi. As an example, I could be doing something wrong. I'm not sure about that, but I think it's very sturdy, very reliable, and easy to use. I'm not going to say which one's my favorite, because that won't be fair. So I hope that really helps. At least now you know they're pretty much in the same range, so there's not much of a deviation from a more expensive and heavier and sturdier model to a cheaper and lighter model. The lighter models have their advantages because you can take them with you on the bike. When you go riding, they weigh almost nothing. I'm talking about these two. And the bigger ones are a bit heavier, but handy to use and easy to use at home. So hope it helps. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. Cheers.